The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. It is 4:02 p.m. Time for the WLCN 96.3 FM. My name is Loyd Kirby. I am the marketing manager here at WLCN, and as we do each Tuesday, we speak with a newsmaker, someone with some who's going to drop some knowledge for the next half hour for us. And today it is the Dean of Career and Technical Education from Heartland Community College, Mr. Adam Campbell, or Dean Adam Campbell.
No, just stay with Adam.
Okay,
It's fine.
All right. Well, either way, thank you for being with us. So you are with Heartland, which is, I would think most people know, has the main campus in Normal,
Yep.
with branches in Lincoln as well as Pontiac. And this is Career and Technical Education Month.
Correct.
So you told me there was no parade or
Donuts,
big
no
celebration,
donuts,
nothing like
nothing,
that.
yeah.
So, well, you got to come here, so I guess that's something. So first is, what is career and technical education versus, a traditional college educational curriculum type of thing?
No, and that's a great question. We hear that a lot on our campus when we say to students or parents or interested individuals coming in that we are the CTE division, and they say, "Oh, I don't know what CTE is," and so it's not an uncommon. So really, what our programming focus is are those courses in that programming that's designed to equip students with skills, get them out, get them working. These are usually in demand, they should be, in demand, high wage positions. We work hand in hand with the local employers within our region, in our district, to make sure that we can generate a talent pipeline. So where that differs from traditional education is most of our students coming through, they don't go on to a transfer school, to a 4-year school. So they'll terminate at either a certificate program or an associate of applied science, with the idea that they can then come back and continue to upskill. So we're very hands-on, very practical application use of the knowledge.
Okay. And then at a community college, I think most people think of the traditional associate's degree, that you're going to be there 2 years. Is that necessarily true with the programs that you oversee?
Yes and no. So we have, within the CTE division, I have 6 Associate of Applied Science degrees, but we have multiple stackable credentials underneath that. A student can come to us for as little as a semester and earn a Heartland credential. Oftentimes we'll have an affiliated industry credential associated with that. Student can take that and start working almost immediately. If they want to come back, and again, in a perfect world, they get a job, the employer then pays for them to come back, upskill, and then at some point our advisors say to the student, "Hey, you're only 3 classes away from an associate's degree." So, but we're designed to stack up into that 2-year credential.
Okay. And so in what areas do you offer these classes?
So, all right, you ready for this list? So, okay. So I'm going to try to do this from the top of my head. So in the CTE division at Heartland, we have computer science, computer networking, which includes our cybersecurity, cloud computing. So these are just the overarching. Business technology. In our industrial technology area, which is probably our biggest, we have welding, HVAC, industrial maintenance, electronics, machining, which is the tool and die. We've got CNC, manual. We have our electric vehicle energy storage program. We have renewable energy, digital media, agriculture. Construction, I just feel like they just continue to
okay.
more and more.
And so how do you decide, hey, we're going to offer credentials in this particular area? Does someone come to you with that idea, or do you watch sort of national employment trends, or how does that work?
It's a little bit of both. So probably less national employment trends than regional. So we rely, everything that we do is data driven. And we rely a lot on the employers in our industries and within our area. So we lean on them for feedback when it comes to building our curriculum, whether it's what we're teaching is the right thing, but if it's useful, if it's practical. If it's not, then we don't want to teach it. So if we have an employer in our district that says, hey, we need to upskill X number of employees in this field, then we'll look at the data. And again, that's regional data. We'll look at employment data. We'll look at our capacity as a school, and then we can make those determinations. And again, feedback from employers. We hold advisory committee meetings with all of these industries to get that level of feedback. So everything we do is data driven. They don't want to rely solely on me to say, hey, let's go do this because it sounds cool. Again, being a public institution and positive stewards of the public's money, we want to make sure that what we're doing is training the next generation of employees for the workforce.
Okay. And I would assume that you mentioned electronic vehicles there being a program there with Rivian nearby. I'm guessing that is one of those areas where the employer and the program sort of a match made in heaven for you, I guess.
It is, but we also try to be, we don't want to box any of our student population in, partly because we feel it would be a disservice to the student and to the industry. So all of our programs are what we call brand agnostic. So our EV program, for example, we have a wonderful partnership with Rivian. The electric vehicle lab is our State Farm electric vehicle lab, so State Farm has sponsored it.
Oh, wow.
But a student coming in, they're not going to just work on Rivian, which we do have, but they also work on, we have a fully electric Fiat 500, we have Ford, we have General Motors, our instructor brings his own Tesla in, and they poke around. We have a great partnership with the Tesla dealership in Bloomington. Oh. So we give the student exposure to all of these concepts.
Okay. And I actually just got a text saying perhaps your microphone isn't working as well as we would like.
No.
So let's go ahead and take
Closer?
our first
Maybe
break
closer?
here. No, I think it's probably equipment-wise.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and take our first 2-minute break here. Once again, we're talking with Adam Campbell, the Dean of Career and Technical Education at Heartland Community College. If you have questions about whatever it might be, what career and technical education is or any particular programs, 217-648-5510, the number to call, or you can email us your question, 4pm411 at WLCNonline.com. We also invite you to tune in to tomorrow's Viewpoint program where Dara Entwistle will speak with Kayla Graven and Nicole Moore from the Illinois Department of Agriculture, talking about the Illinois Products Expo happening this weekend at the State Fairgrounds. But as I mentioned, for the next 20 minutes or so, we have Adam Campbell here, so we will talk to him right after this.
This is Corporal Brian Clements with the Lincoln Police Department. This week, Lincoln-Logan County Crime Stoppers is seeking information in reference to 2 burglaries in Lincoln that have occurred recently. A building at 523 North Elm Street was burglarized during the February 1st weekend. Another building at 411 North Chicago Street was burglarized on the weekend of February 3rd. Multiple expensive tools were taken from both locations. If you have any information on this crime, please contact the Lincoln-Logan County Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-732-3000 or the Lincoln Police Department at 217-732-2151. Tips leading to an arrest could receive a cash reward up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers only wants your information and not your name.
The Lincoln-Logan County Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week is brought to you by Me Realty, supporting a thriving community safe for families through support of the Crime Stoppers program. Me Realty, 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center makes an impact locally and beyond through a wide range of events, ministries, and outreaches. Pastors Steve and Debbie Owens invite you to worship Sunday mornings at 10:30 and attend Wednesday night Bible studies at 6:30. Connect with FGEC online, follow them on Facebook, download their app, and visit their new website at myfgec.org with live YouTube video streams as well as recordings of services and special events. Full Gospel Evangelistic Center, 304 North McLean Street in Lincoln. And we are back on the 4PM 411 as Mabel the cat decides to walk across the control board. But we are here with Adam Campbell, the Dean of CTE, Career and Technical Education at Heartland Community College in Normal, also in Lincoln, also in Pontiac. So you are based at the main campus in Normal, but the Career and Technical Education programs, they expand to the branch campuses, correct?
Right, and hopefully a little bit more in the near future.
Okay. So what do you have, since we're Lincoln-based, what do you have going in Lincoln that folks might be interested in?
So what we have right now, we are offering MIG welding. We do it in partnership with the Lincoln Land Technical Education Center out at the high school.
Okay.
We have actually that class, and I'll shoot out some dates here. That class starts, it's our introductory MIG welding course, starts March 17th and runs through May 9th. So anybody who's interested, who's listening, you can still register. Just go to heartland.edu, and you can connect with an advisor in the CTE area, or you can go ahead and go through the registration process, or stop out at the Lincoln campus. I know Jen Kirby out there has a wonderful staff. They do great work, so go talk to them if you want to register for the class. So the introductory MIG welding course starts on March 17th with an advanced course, our 218, starting on June 2nd. You asked earlier about whether a student needs to get the 2-year degree. This is a great example. A student coming through, taking just this 2-course sequence gets a micro certificate. So a MIG welding micro certificate, which can then stack into a welding skills certificate, which can stack into more additional certificates. So, so this is very, very much a foundational piece. So right now, again, we have welding available. That's going to run the second 8 weeks of the spring semester into the fall, and then we're also going to be running some in the fall. My advisors made sure I knew the dates here. So fall registration, priority registration comes up on March 24th, but open registration begins on April 1st for the fall semester. So again, go talk to the Lincoln campus, talk to the folks at the normal campus, and get registered. Okay. Beyond that, we have a lot in the works, a lot that I'm hopeful for. So being a Lincoln resident myself, I've made a commitment to trying to bring CTE education to Lincoln in partnership with our Lincoln campus and some of the employer partners. And we've had some really positive discussions, mostly centering around the industrial technology, industrial maintenance. And I don't want to get into too many details because everything is still preliminary, but we have some things in the pipeline that I'm very excited about that I think are going to be course offerings for our citizens that are going to put them in a better position to get employment, maintain employment, and progress through their employment.
Very cool. And of course, one of the things when folks talk about college, one of the sticking points, I guess, for some people is the cost. So do you have any programs or scholarships or anything that might help folks with costs of those CTE?
Yeah. So first of all, community college is unbelievably reasonable. It's one that should always be an option for individuals who are looking to grow and develop their skills. So we can, and I can't remember the exact cost per credit hour that we have. I want to say it was right around $180, give or take, per credit hour. Okay. Don't quote me on that. But again, even if it's in that ballpark, it's still very, very reasonable. But we have partnered with a number of employers. One example is in our renewable energy area, renewable energy skills certificate. It is Earthrise. Their name, I've got like 3 or 4 energy companies that stick in my mind. Earthrise Energy has committed to pay for 4 $5,500 scholarships per year for students to come through our renewable energy skills certificate. So that is covered. We have a company that's trying to build a talent pipeline, and that coursework is going to concentrate on both wind and solar. And we have solar farms going up in Logan County pretty regularly. So if you're looking for skills that will lead to very gainful employment, and we have a company that's willing to pay for that at relatively no cost to you as a student, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned the program in Lincoln, the second 9 weeks starts March 17th. So do students get a discount if they show up in green that day?
In green? I don't know.
St. Patrick's Day.
We'll have to. I'll leave that to the Lincoln branch to figure that one out.
All right, sounds good. So, so you did mention the welding program in Lincoln, and of course, Lincoln Land or Lincoln, the Technical Center there at the high school has a welding program. So, is the Heartland program sort of a continuation of the Lincoln program in terms of curriculum, or I know what welding is, but I know very little about it, so I don't know if there are different skills or
so what we do right now at the tech center is we do the dual credit for the high school students that come through LTech. So they are teaching essentially our curriculum. So whether it's MIG welding or stick welding, they're teaching our curriculum embedded into their coursework, and then we are giving those high school students Heartland credit for that. And right now, those are hovering right around just in the introductory phase. A student can't get that 200 level. The courses that we're going to be running starting in March and in June, the MIG welding and what we ran this past semester down at LTech, those are in the evening. Anybody can take those, so it's not restricted to just high school students. In fact, we want to open it up to the community. These are also 4 credit, so a student will get 3 credit hours for each one of those, so 6 credit hours total throughout 16 weeks of courses. So, but what they teach at the high school already is in line with what this class would be learning too.
Very cool. So, all right, we are about 18 minutes past, so we'll go ahead and take our second break now. Once again, we're talking with Adam Campbell, the Dean of Career and Technical Education. I almost forgot what the C stood for. At Heartland Community College, we invite you to tune in to the 4 p.m. 411 next week. We will have, as we do each first Tuesday of the month, Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch will be the guest. And then also this weekend, out at the Lincoln Park District, the Elevate Your Wellness Expo is going on from 9 a.m. until noon. A lot of community organizations, I believe Heartland Community College will have a booth there as well. That happens from 9 a.m. to noon, but the Cheap Seats Saturday Morning Sports Show crew will be out there from 9 a.m. to 10 with a remote broadcast as well as a video live stream. So feel free to stop by and say hello to those folks. And in the meantime, we will be back in 2 minutes with Adam Campbell and more from Heartland Community College. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Hello, Lincoln and Logan County. This is Chris Grau from Grau Chevrolet Buick in Lincoln. When it comes time to choose someone to repair your car, truck, or SUV, don't you think you'd feel more comfortable working with the local people you know and trust? Our team in service, parts, and detail have the tools, training, and knowledge that will get your repairs done quickly, with less downtime, and at the right price. Call the local pros at 217-735-4444 at Grau Chevrolet Buick on North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln.
An accident or injury can happen any day. If you're living without health insurance, now is the time to find a health insurance plan to protect you and your family. New, low-cost plans cover doctor's visits, hospital stays, prescriptions, preventative care, and more. And you could get a tax credit to help you afford insurance. So call me, Dara Entwistle, 217-737-7581 to help you find a plan that's right for you.
And we are back on the 4 p.m. 411 with Heartland Community College Dean of Career and Technical Education, Adam Campbell. And we've got about 10 minutes left. So again, if you have questions of Dean Campbell, 217-648-5510, the number to call, or you can email your questions 4pm411 at WLCNonline.com. So we've been talking about career and technical education, about the programs there at Heartland. To my understanding, there's been sort of a boom in that area in terms of growth. So that, you get hired as the dean, the programs grow. So
That's that's exactly how I reported. Look, no, I wish it was affiliated like that. So one of the data points that I love pointing out to visitors and guests, our faculty, because they like to hear some of this too, is a few years ago, the college. This is just looking at numbers of completers. So the college was the traditional college experience. So most of the completions were tied to transfer programs. So most of our students were either getting their 2-year associate's degree or taking that and then transferring to Illinois State, wherever. So representing maybe 3 years ago, probably 46% of the college's completions were CTE. And CTE, it includes all of the programs that I said and our health sciences.
Okay.
I have nothing to do with health, so that's a completely different area. We can get her, the dean from health, down here some other time for you. So fast forward a couple of years, and then the prevalence of the certificate programs and the stackable credentials. Now we're representing probably about 63% of the college's completions coming out of the CTE division. So it's growing. We've had to add multiple sections. I've had to hire additional faculty to come in, and I know during break I said I wanted to talk real quick about the faculty. I want those who maybe don't have the background or have the familiarity with CTE programming, or maybe are first generation college students or a little hesitant. The faculty that we have at Heartland, especially in the CTE division, they're very, very skilled individuals. Most of them are not trained educators. They come from industry, so they know the background. They know what works, what doesn't work. They know how to learn. They've learned how to teach. So they're very knowledgeable in this. So students that come through our programs are learning from people who have been in those positions for 10, 15, 30 years. We've got one guy that was a trainer for Mitsubishi for 30 years. This is a guy who knows what he's talking about. So the faculty that we have are very, very solid. They will make sure our students learn and actually know what they're doing. So it's not just a check off to make sure they're through. But no, our programs are growing. One data point that I'll throw out that I really like, I was here last year right after we opened the Advanced Manufacturing Center and the State Farm Electric Vehicle Lab and the Ag Complex. So in that 1 year, and I'll leave the Ag Complex out of it, in that 1 year in the Advanced Manufacturing Center and State Farm Electric Vehicle Lab, which opened last January, we've had just over 1,000 students come through, and we've issued over 5,000, I'd say almost 5,200 credit hours. Within that 1 year span. So things are growing. It's going well. So to anybody who's interested, register early, get in with an advisor, and just get moving on it.
Yeah. So I totally lost my train of the instructors, the educators there. So not necessarily, as you said, not trained educators, but have that real world experience that you can learn certain things by reading a textbook, but being out there in the trenches and that is got to be valuable for students, I'm sure.
Yeah. And the response has been really, really good going out. Students that go out and represent their education from Heartland. We've had very positive feedback from employers that these individuals know what they're doing and can execute on the job very well.
Very cool. So understand you have a couple events coming up regarding the career and technical education you wanted to let folks know about.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are interested, if you are thinking about education, this is for a child of yours or you yourself as an individual. We have 2 nights coming up that I'd like to have you put on the calendar. First night is March 4th at 5 o'clock. We have our Ag Information Night, so it'll be hosted at our brand new Ag Complex. Beautiful new building if you've never been. It's a net zero building. We have flex labs and simulators and all kinds of cool things. A lot of glass, a lot of neat things to look at. So Ag Information Night, if you're interested in agriculture, is March 4th at 5. And then we have our CTE Information Night, which is going to be hosted at our Advanced Manufacturing Center. That is April 9th. March 9th. I said April. It's March 9th. They're going to get me. March 9th at 5 p.m. You don't have to register, but it's helpful for our folks. If you do register, just go to heartland.edu/visit. You can register for either of those nights. We try to set it up so that you can come in, you can meet with faculty, tour the labs, get a feel for the instructional environment, get a feel for the equipment that we use. We use cutting edge equipment, simulation systems. We all the fun things that are, very expensive and hard to get. That's my job, is to get that stuff for them. But you'll have a real opportunity to kind of see where you will be learning.
Okay, very cool. And I'll get those dates from you and make sure we get them on our community calendar here before you take off. This has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about, but I've sort of noticed especially on social media, sort of a trend as of late that maybe non-traditional academic education sort of had a sort of a stigma associated with it. Like, you grow up, you graduate from high school, and then you've got to go to college. But it seems to me there's been sort of a shifting of the mindset as far as traditional college and academics isn't necessarily for everyone, and the technical programs and the career type programs, seems to me they're getting, I don't know, more popular or more just being seen, more visible maybe, or have you sort of seen that as well?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's found in our numbers when we look at those completion percentages and the enrollment numbers that are going up and up and up and up in every class. And I think it's indicative of people realizing that they want a career. They want to, and it's not always a 4-year degree. And I'm not saying that folks are either four-year appropriate or not 4-year appropriate. It's a different type. It's a completely different type of education. Our student population is the demographics are different. When we look at CTE student population versus transfer student population, different goals. We typically have an older student. We have a student that a lot of them already have full-time jobs, have families, have children, have different responsibilities. So we do classes a little bit differently. And again, our faculty are really tuned into that. So we're seeing a lot. Again, I live in Lincoln, but working up in Bloomington Normal. Bloomington has always been historically a white-collar community with State Farm, country companies, but with Rivian being the largest manufacturer in Illinois now we're seeing a shift towards manufacturing. And it's a neat thing to see, and it's a neat thing to be a part of and to be a resource for the industries in our community.
Very cool. So we are almost to 4:30, so anything we haven't touched on you wanted to get out there? You want to throw the
I'll hit the dates one more time. So Agriculture Information Night, March 4th at 5, and CTE Information Night, March 9th at 5. And we're actually, we say those separately, but we're finding ways to blend all of that programming. So you're going to see a lot of the same folks if you come to both of those nights. So March 4th at 5 is Ag Night, March 9th at 5, CTE Night.
And those are at the main campus, and also you mentioned the second 9 weeks of welding happening in Lincoln.
Yes. Get registered for welding. It begins March 17th. Like I said, you can go out to the Lincoln Center, talk to Jen and her staff, get registered, Jen, Kelsey, and them. And let's fill the classes and let's do great things for the community.
All right, very good. Well, Adam Campbell, thank you so much for making the trek here and joining us once more. Sort of becoming an annual thing. So once again, we invite you to tune in next week. Mayor Tracy Welch, the mayor of Lincoln, will be on the 411 program. Tomorrow morning on Viewpoint, Dara Entwistle speaks with Kayla Graven and Nicole Moore from the Illinois Department of Agriculture about the Illinois Products Expo happening this weekend at the State Fairgrounds. And speaking of this weekend, if you don't want to make the trek to Springfield, or even if you do, you can stop by the Lincoln Park District Saturday morning for the Elevate Your Wellness Expo that happens from 9 a.m. until noon. We will have a remote by the Cheap Seats crew out there from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. You may stop by and say hello to them at your own risk. But once again, Dean Campbell, thank you for being with us. And I am Loyd Kirby. We'll be back next week with Lincoln Mayor Tracy Welch. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.